Joining us now is Ben Berquam. Ben, I know you're in Kerr County, Texas right now, and I want to cover that tragedy. But just very quickly, what did mass amnesty do to California? And then we'll talk about what's happening in Texas.
Yeah, it destroyed California. I was living there. I grew up. Parents were missionaries in Africa, and we ended up in California right after in '89. And we lived from the Pete Wilson era, following Ronald Reagan as governor, to Pete Wilson, to seeing that state go from the glory that it was to our country to a dismal piece of crap state. I mean, to use articulate language, it's garbage now, and in large part because of mass amnesty. You're 100% right. You know who was one of the biggest proponents or opponents of mass amnesty? Was Cesar Chavez. He was out there fighting against it. They didn't want this. All of these, the Farm Labor Union, all these guys hated illegal immigration. They didn't want it. But we allowed this to happen, and now this lie that mass amnesty is something good for Republicans in difficult seats, it's just an absolute lie, and I hope you're right. I hope that was a trial balloon. I was at the rally when he said it, and the entire crowd went silent. There was no cheers for it. MAGA does not want that. No amnesty, deport all illegals. That's what MAGA wants.
So Ben, thank you for that. Now let's go to what's going on in Texas. It's a unspeakable, terrible tragedy. What do we need to know about what's going on in Texas? Walk us through what happened the last couple of days. How did this happen, and how can people help?
Yeah, it is an unspeakable tragedy. I was actually on my way home for the 4th of July. It was the first 4th of July I was going to be able to spend with my family in 4 years. I was driving, almost got to Texarkana, and then I got message that that this was happening, turned around, came back down here. And all I can think is, I miss my family for 4th of July, but at least I get to go home and see them. Most up-to-date numbers we just got this morning from the sheriff and city administrators, 82 dead with 55 adults, 27 children, 10 of these children from the Mystic Camp, this Christian summer camp, that are still unaccounted for. And I asked the question, what are we talking? What's the total universe of missing? And I've been asking that the last 3 days, and I have not gotten an answer. Today they said the same thing. They can't give an answer. I said, well, are we talking dozens or hundreds? And the response was a lot. So you can read into that what that means. It's not dozens. And so that's where we're at right now. This was a catastrophic weather event. I also followed up the question, and not to get in the weeds on geoengineering and the rest of it, but there's no question about it. Texas, a lot of these dry areas have been using cloud seeding for years to help the farmers in these areas. Last year was one of the driest years on record. In fact, the river actually stopped running last year, and so they've been using it. And I just asked the question, is there, as the mainstream media is going after this, trying to pin this on President Trump, I think it's legitimate. That's not legitimate, but what's legitimate is to say, are there other factors that played into this? The fact that this storm came and stopped, basically parked over Texas for hours and hours and hours, and instead of jumping 4 inches to 6 inches of rain, it dumped over 15 in some locations. That's where we're at right now. It's a tragedy. These kids should have, hopefully, you think back and you think, man, we should have gotten them out of there. But coming from Arkansas, watching these weather patterns come up, you see this all the time. Flood warning, flood watch. You never think. I'm standing, just to give you perspective. You can see the broken down truck behind me. If I turn the camera, you can see the river in the distance there. I'm standing 15 feet underwater where this flood was. The bridge back behind me there, the water went all the way up to the top of that bridge. So the amount of water we're talking about is really unimaginable, and it's something that doesn't happen. So anybody out there saying, well, you should have known, you should have done, we could talk about all that stuff after the fact. We definitely need to look at that. Should we have flood sirens like we have tornado sirens? Definitely worth talking about. But right now, the entire focus is on finding those 10 missing girls and the rest of the missing, now presumed, moving from that rescue to recovery. We're in that phase now, 72 hours. Very few rescues will happen. We keep praying, though, and that's my message to everyone. Your final question, how can people help? There is a community, Hill Country Community Foundation that's set up. I would ask you guys, don't give your money to Red Cross. Give your money local to the local community. They know how best to spend it, and it's the Community Foundation of the Hill Country. You can go on the City of Kerrville's Facebook page. You can get all the details there. That's where I would ask you to send the money, send your donations. Don't come here. Don't try to do your own investigations, do your own recovery efforts. Don't do that. Let these guys do it. It is being handled. President Trump, Kristi Noem, Governor Abbott, down to the local. These guys, I've never seen an operation so efficient and so good. So keep them in your prayers. Keep the family in your prayers. And if you want to contribute, do it to the local communities.
Okay, really quick, 1 minute remaining though, Ben. People are blaming President Trump for this. What is your response to that?
Yeah, it's absolute nonsense. I watched East Palestine. I watched North Carolina and Tennessee, the dismal failures of the last administration when they were wasting all of our money, trillions of our dollars on things, on garbage. What President Trump is he is a businessman. He's an efficient businessman. Everything he does, the decisions he makes are strategic to making decisions that help our country. Everyone from the top down has said all of that is absolute nonsense. The reaction, the response we're seeing here is the best response I've ever seen. Again, having covered all those other disasters from the local, the state, and the federal level, this is by far the best response I've ever seen. Anyone saying otherwise is a liar.
Ben Bergquam, God bless you. I hope you get home to your family soon. Thanks for your great work. Thank you.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.